Hey friends, it's Laura. Thank you so much for joining me for another Flosstube this week. So I have a lot of things to share with you and I'm so excited about a couple finishes I get to share. I have some more progress on a few whips and I have plans. Oh, do I have plans? I actually have some quilt progress too. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to kind of divide this into two things. I'm going to divide this into stitchy stuff and then quilty stuff. Okay, so my first stitchy finish, those of you that have been following along for a while, you know that I graduated with my bachelor's on May 13th from the University of Missouri in Columbia, Missouri. I am so excited to have that finished, and actually that's the first thing I want to show you. It's not stitchy or quilty, but I want to show you what I did with all of my graduation garb. So in my shadow box is everything, including my graduation gown. I folded it up and I pinned it in place. This is a shadow box that I got off of Amazon. And so then I have my graduation stole from the Mizzou Alumni Association, my honors cord, which is the blue and white cord that's hanging down, my tassel, and then I have two medallions. One of them is for the lifetime membership with the Alumni Association, and the top one is for graduating with honors. So then in the lower right hand corner is my cap, which some of you probably saw on my Instagram or Facebook stories. And yeah, it actually did show up from a distance, and I had friends and family attend my graduation and they were like, yeah, we could totally see you and we saw your cap even way up in the sections that they were seating in. So super fun to have that hanging and up in my office. Okay, so stitchy stuff. You may remember, or if it's your first time, you'll find out now that for graduation, what I did was I did a graduation start. So I did the Peacock Manor Stitch Along. It's a pattern in the June 2023 edition of JustCrossStitch magazine. It's a design by Pansy Quilts and Stitchery. Lori Pingali is the one that designed it, and I love it so much. So I started on the 13th, and I know several of you started it with me, which I appreciate so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that you're loving the stitch as much as I did. I say did because I couldn't stop. And I finished it on the 19th of May. So I got it finished in about 7 days. And I did a double layer with sticky board with some basic gray fabric on the background. And then this is the 28 count wheat Lugana with anchor floss. If you want to know my anchor floss colors that I used, you can check out the community tab, or you can check out Flosstube 32, and I go over those in detail there. So in this frame, this is actually a frame that I reuse for several things because it has magnets on the inside the frame, and this is just covered with like a white cotton cloth. And I put the magnets on there, and then on the back of my sticky board, I have 4 washers, and so I can just put this in there. And I can switch it out if I want. Although I do have to say that I may find a more permanent home for this. When I was doing the close-up, you may have noticed I did add in my initials and a BGS because that's what I received my degree as. It's a Bachelor's in General Studies. And then I also put the 2023 there on this side. So I do have this finished. I'm so excited. I've been excited to see everyone else's progress on the Peacock Manor Stitch Along. And I look forward to seeing more finishes from you guys too. So how fun is this, right? Yeah. Another couple finishes that I've gotten completed. I've been working on the PinkerNPunkin salt boxes, and I've been switching those out every month in a perpetual calendar that I hung on my wall. And I just decided that I just wasn't keeping up with that very well, and I just didn't like it. And I've dumped the numbers like so many times, it's not even crazy. It's not even believable at this point. So I just decided to ditch the perpetual calendar idea. And so I found these cute little boards at Hobby Lobby, and they were on clearance for $2. So I picked out a couple of my favorite PinkerNPunkin stitches that I have completed. And so they're hanging on these little boards. How cute is that, right? And again, I can swap them out because I'm using the magnets and washers. And there's the magnets and the washers. I just put 2 on this one. 1 because I was out of washers, 2 because it doesn't really need 4. So I don't really feel like I should have had to put 4 magnets on there, except that there may be times I want to like sit it on its side on a shelf or something. So I could still use 2 magnets either way that way. So this just snaps back on there, or magnets back on there. Quick, easy, cute finish. I have one of them hanging and one of them sitting in my office and craft space. So super fun little finish, quick finish, easy finish for those. And I'll just swap those out as I want. Super fun. All right, so it's been 2 weeks since we last spoke, and I have been stitching. Obviously, I got the Peacock Manor finished, but other than that, I haven't really done too much, but I feel like I'm in a good place for the month. I do have progress on the the American Quilters Cross Stitch. I always say that backwards. The American Quilters Cross Stitch. It's a pattern by Katie Nolan. I'm sure that you guys are sick of hearing about this stitch because it has been almost a year now that I've been working on this, but I'm so close. This, at first glance, you're like, whoa, it's done, but it's not. All of these 6 flags over on the bottom right quadrant, they need their white stripes still, but that is all I have left to do. So I do have my May goal met and all the red stripes are done. So in June, I will be doing the white stripes and it will be ready to fully finish for July. So just in time for Independence Day. Yay! All right, so that is my progress on the Quilters American Quilters. See, I say that wrong all the time. American Quilters Cross Stitch. It could be Quilters American. Anyway, all right, so my other progress, it is not, I worked on this a little bit at the end of April, and then I worked on it again last night, and that's really all I've done is the Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, Peppermint, houses on Peppermint Lane. You may remember I have the first 3 houses done. Yay, yay, yay. And I am doing this as 1 stitch. So this is going to be like pretty big because this is the full width. There's 3 rows of houses. So I do have the second row, and let me like back up so you can kind of see. This is kind of wrinkly, sorry about that, but you can kind of see that's 2 rows. So 3 rows, it's going to be quite the piece, right? So I am working on the tea house right now. Like I said, I started that at the end of April. I worked on it a little bit last night. Well, most of the evening last night, and then I'll be working on it again tonight and probably tomorrow night. And I'm going to try to get this finished before the weekend. So that's kind of the goal for the rest of this week. All right, so, and then after I get the tea house completed at the end of the month, I'll be starting the next one, which is 5, and that's not 5, that's 6. And that's 7, oh goodness. Okay, number 5, here we go, is the Cranberry house. So I'll be starting that at the end of May. I'm just following the dates. I know Fat Quarter Shop is doing a stitch along, but their dates are totally confusing me. I thought that the date on their blog was like the date you started, but now I'm thinking that's like the date you're supposed to be done. I don't know. And I asked a couple times in their Flosstubes, and I don't think they really have a clear direction on it either. Love you guys, but it's not a very clear stitch along schedule. So I'm just going with the dates on their blog, and that's the day I start the house. So by the end of May, I should have the tea house completed, and I think it's May 31st. Yes, May 31st, I'll start the Cranberry house. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't have any progress on the Featherweight stitch, so I won't bore you with that. I don't have any progress on Autumn Love, so I'm not going to bore you with that. And I do have June plans. The first June stitch that I will do, as I've been doing all year long, I start my month with PinkerNPunkin. And so I will be starting June with the Strawberry house. If you happen to see my ice dyeing tutorial, this is the cloth that I'm using for the Strawberry house. And I did an ice dyeing tutorial on how to get this really cool mottled look. It was super fun, super easy, and it really made me kind of give up control on what was going to happen with my cloth and have a little more fun with just dyeing and designing some fabric, some custom fabric. So obviously I would never be able to get this exact look again, and I'm okay with that. And it'd be great for the strawberry house. I have pulled all the colors. The link for the strawberry house chart is down below. I will put a picture in here of it so you can see what it looks like. And then here are the floss colors that I'm using. Let me set those up so you can see all the numbers. I have 2 whites in there, so I'm only gonna set one of those up. But here are the Anchor Floss color numbers. And this is what I'm gonna be starting June with, is a PinkerNPunkin salt box. And it is a free chart from Melissa on the PinkerNPunkin.blogspot.com. I'll put a link to the strawberry house below so you can see. And then if you go back and look at, I think it's Flosstube 25, maybe 20. Oof, it's been a while. I'll put that down below too, where I show, with a timestamp, where I show all of the PinkerNPunkin charts that I'll be stitching this year. In addition to that, I'll try to put a picture of that on the community tab so you can reference that really easily as well. All right, so that is a June 1st start. If you have not signed up for Kingdoms of Life with Stitchonomy, you have until the 16th of June to do that, and then you'll start getting an email every day beginning June 26th with a little stitchy chart to do, I don't know, it's like a mystery stitch along. So whatever is going to be happening, we will find out together. So I don't have anything kitted up for that. I still haven't really truly decided if I'm going to stitch it or if I'm going to collect the patterns to stitch it later. I may wait and see what the design looks like and then stitch it if I really love it, but collect the patterns as I go along. All right, so I talked about the strawberry house, the cranberry house, the Kingdoms of Life, the flag stitch, June. Yeah, so as I mentioned, the flags should be done in June. So after I get done with the strawberry house, I'm gonna go bopping right back to the flag stitch and get that done. And that will be off my plate. But June, which the flag stitch ties in great with this. June, the Fat Quarter Shop is doing a red, white, and June stitch along. And Kimberly has, like, I don't know, 20 different patterns she's gonna stitch. I'm not choosing that many. I'm choosing 4. And I'm gonna be using all the stitches, not all, but 4 of the stitches are gonna come out of the Summer Memories book. So there are, I think, 10 different little cross-stitch charts in the back. So I'm gonna be doing the cherry season. Those are my Anchor Floss colors. And I'm going to do Free and Brave and Proud and True. Okay, there we go. And This Land. And I think this one's going to be pretty quick to stitch, so hopefully I'll be able to get all of 4 of those done within the month of June. Instead of using the colors, I believe they're calling for Orifloss. Yes, they're calling for Orifloss threads. I'm going to be using Anchor threads, and here's a list of the threads I pulled for that. Those are all kitted up and ready to go, which is very good. And that should keep me busy in June. And just a quick June plan, because this is the last May Flosstube. As I said, I'll start the month with Strawberry Salt Box. Then I'll be doing the flag stitch and getting it finished. I'll probably go back to the Cranberry house and get the Cranberry house finished as well, because the Pinwheel house is has June 28th as its date. So that's what I'm going to do for a start. So I'll probably finish the Cranberry house and then do a couple of the Red, White, and Junes, and then try to mix in Autumn Love and Featherweight in there as well. I have this crazy idea that I might throw a Santa in next month, but we'll just see how the first couple weeks of June go, and then we'll decide like where I'm going to go from there. All right, so that is all I have for stitching. So the rest of this is going to be quilting. So if you don't care about quilts, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining me and happy stitching. If you care about quilts, then I'm so glad you're going to hang out. I have actually made some progress on my So Simple Shapes quilt. I am excited about this. So let me swap this around so you can see a couple of my blocks. Okay, so it doesn't look like a lot of progress, but I believe me, it is. So I have 3 of 30 blocks done. So what is that, 10%? I have 10% of the quilt done, yay. So these are using Lori Holt's So Simple Shapes. The top block is using the A set, and the other 2 blocks use the B set. I actually have 2 more blocks that I have the interfacing traced and the fabric cut for that are using C. So I have 5 blocks, I guess, in progress, 3 completed and 3 completed and 2 in the works, 2 more in the works. My goal is, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is try to get 2 blocks a day for the next 3 weeks, and that should give me the 30 blocks I need for the quilt. We'll see if that happens. I may have to adjust that a little bit, but it's possible, I guess. The other quilty thing that I've done is I have a friend that has collected Crown Royal bags for a very long time. And so I put all of those together into a quilt top. And I'm actually going to be going to my brother's on this Saturday, the 27th, I think, to do some quilting. And this is one of the ones I'm going to take with me. So this one and Calico Garden, and then I have 18 quilt tops to get caught up on. And honestly, I'm going to leave some of them with my brother and say, please, please, please quilt these for me. But Calico Garden and the Crown Royal quilt and a couple of the other ones I want to do myself. So I'm going to try to get 4 or 5 quilts done this weekend and then schedule another time to go down and then hopefully leave like 8 to 10 quilt tops with him. And that sounds like a lot, but they're like little quilts. They're like, 45 by 45, something like that, because most of them are like donation quilts. So hopefully he will not notice that I left them, and then he'll just whip them up and get them quilted and they'll be done. No, I'll talk to him about it. It'll be fine. And he really he's fine with it. He'll do it. He loves me. So that's my quilting stuff. Yeah, so like I said, this weekend I'm going quilting at my brother's. And other than that, I have like the summer off. I don't have a class. I don't have homework. It's kind of weird. It's really kind of weird. So I'm hoping to get lots of stitching, lots of quilting, lots of car shows, lots of relaxing, lots of whatever I want to do done this summer. And then this fall, I will be starting the master's program at the University of Missouri. I'm doing the Learning Technology and Design master's program with the School of Human Development and Education. So that will be, my time spent starting I think it's like August 21st, I think is when it starts, something like that. So I have, a few months that I can just focus on my crafty things. So that's, yeah. So besides all of that, since the last Flosstube, if you didn't see my amazing announcement, I was so honored. Gary asked me to be part of Fiber Talk on May 10th. So if you haven't watched Fiber Talk, I would say you need to go and do that. Jennifer shared some of her thread that she spun herself, and she's talking about making her own cloth, and she showed some cute little pillow finishes, and I think she had a strawberry finish that she talked about too that evening. So it's just such an inviting, welcoming community. So if you haven't checked out Fiber Talk, please do. And then in addition to that, I found a couple of YouTubers this week that I thought would be so fun to share. Some quilty YouTubers I found this week that I was just so in awe with. I want to share their channels, and I'll put them in the description box below. But the first one is The Last Homely House, and it's a lady that she lives in England, and she refers to her channel as kind of she feels like she's living like a hobbit, and she does all this crafty things, and she talks about her granddaughter, that she has this really cool quilt project she's made for her, and it's a really neat channel. So if you're looking for someone that has not just stitching, not just quilting, she does quilting and all kinds of, I think she does some knitting and some cooking and all kinds of cool stuff. Just a very crafty, creative person. Check out her channel. Like I said, it's The Last Homely House. I'll put a link down below. She actually is the one that I figured out another YouTuber, Terry Rowland, and she is in Canada. She's a designer, and she has a color wash quilt scrap design and challenge going on. And this quilt is amazing. It is so cool. It's a great way to use your scraps. So if you're looking for a scrap buster, check out Terry Rowland's channel. Again, I'll put her link to her channel down below. And then just today, I found the Quilted Forest. And I think it's a quilt shop, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm not too certain about where they're at, but they're doing 2.5-inch strips, scrappy quilts, to get all of those 2.5-inch fabric strips used up. So check them out too. So there's 3 things that you can like go and just, you know, put them in your queue on YouTube and just watch and watch and watch and watch and watch until you can't watch anymore. So I hope that either myself or someone else has inspired you to create something beautiful and to decorate your corner of the world with something that is unique and creative. And until next time, happy stitching.